Welcome back to the 2018 British Columbia Electrical Code, or better known as the Canadian Electrical Code. All right, we'll touch with 12-122. A very important subject is equipment wire. Subrule 1. Equipment wire shall be of the type specified in Table 11 for the specific condition of use and shall be suitable for the particular location involved with respect to and not limited to, and where have we read this before? In other sections of Section 12. Moisture, corrosive action, temperature, degree of enclosure, and exposure to mechanical damage. So this is nothing new. This has always been in the code. This actually came from Section 4. For those of you that are more familiar with the code, for example, Year 3 and Year 4 students, you'll realize that certain sections of the code get bounced around every version. This was in Section 12 years ago. It got bounced to Section 4 and now got thrown back into Section 12. Anyway, we are going to go take a look at Table 11, just as a little overview of what we need to see. We'll go over an example. It so nicely quickly went over to Table 11. Wonderful. So this is the condition of use, voltage and temperature rating of flexible cords, heater cords, tinsel cord, equipment wire, Christmas tree cord, portable power cables, elevator cable, stage lighting, electric vehicle supply equipment cables, and festoon cables. So let's take a look. Let's try to find something on Christmas tree cords. So let's take a look. All of a sudden we come here, we see Christmas tree cord wiring. It's approved for dry locations only, not hard usage. The designation on the cable for Christmas tree wiring should be either a PXT or a DPT. Notice it has a voltage rating of either 125 or 300. Temperature rise is either 60 or 105 degrees Celsius, and there are no notes here. So let's see if there's any other Christmas tree cords. For example, if we can put these things outside. Let's take a look. Tinsel cord, equipment wire, heater cord, no, elevator. Look at this. We also have outdoor Christmas tree cord. It's approved for wet or damp or dry locations, not for hard usage. If these are going to be located outdoors, purchase the brands that have the CXWT or PXWT SP1-1W or SPT2W. And notice that they have the different voltage characteristics, either 600 volt or 300 volt ratings. Now, just as a quick going down the rabbit's hole, we know those are the type of installations that you should have for those type of conductors. For example, for Christmas tree lighting, where do you find the ampacity? Well, we're not going to delve into it too quickly because I believe Jeff dealt with this in Section 4, but you can go over to Table 12 and that will give you the ampacities of those wires that we just saw from Table 11. Okay, so we are going to bounce back to where we were a couple minutes ago. There's a lot here. And I'm not using the hyperlink. All right. So that ends 12-122. We're going to look at some other sections of the code. There's not much to know, for example, in 12-204, spacing of insulated conductors. Insulated conductor supports. You don't really need to know too much about that. However, please spend some time in there reading. Something of importance, for example, in 12-300, exposed wiring on exterior of buildings and between buildings on the same premise. I'm not going to touch too much into that, but however, those of you that are involved in second and third year may want to pay some special attention to, for example, 2-308. If you are running, for example, triplex or quad conductors of a certain size, realize that there is a certain distance that you can travel between poles, and this is aerially run conductors, not underground. So, for example, if you're running, let's say, for example, number 6 or number 4 conductors from, let's say, a dwelling unit or a house to an outbuilding, let's say a barn, you have number 6 triplex. You can run your spans between 30 and 40 meters. Be very careful if you're running triplex overhead conductors of, for example, number 8 to number 4 AWG aluminum. You're restricted to a span of between 15 and not more than 30 meters. So be very careful on that. Let's see what else we have here. A very important rule for those of you in third year, likely second year, third year, and especially fourth year. 12-310, clearance of insulated conductors and cables. Those of you in first year or the ELTT program, you probably haven't seen this yet. But be very careful with this. Insulated conductors and cables shall be located or guarded so that they cannot be reached by a person standing on a fire escape, flat roof, or other portion of the building. They shall be at least 2.5 meters above the highest point of a flat roof or a roof that can be readily walked upon, and at least 1 meter above the peaked roof or the highest point of the roof that cannot be readily walked upon, except where there's a deviation. Now, the reason for that is you don't want to have, for example, someone on a roof and then being able to reach up and grab the triplex or quad conductors. It is, of course, very dangerous. Conductors over buildings, 12-312. Once again, this is more for the second, third, and fourth year individuals. Conductors shall not be installed over buildings unless a deviation has been allowed in accordance with 2-030. Now, we haven't discussed that, or maybe we did. What is 2-030? That's getting special permission. And how do you get special permission? No, you do not take your inspector out for lunch. Nice try. No, that's called a variance, and you get a hold of your local inspector and you request a variance in regards to 2-030, and you ask for a variance. So it's something that's written in writing and you're getting special permission. Now, let's see. You can read 12-318, use of neutral support cable. Another name for neutral support cable is triplex or quad, and you can find the conductor ampacities over on table 36A and 36B. This is an important rule to remember right here. Sub-row C, right here. Use of neutral support. This one right here. They shall be supported in spans of not more than 38 meters in length. Be careful on this rule. This is different from section 6 when you're doing services. So the utility, and in section 6 and what's noted in appendix B, says that you can only travel no more than 30 meters from the property line to a service mast. Now, a lot of people say, well, all of a sudden I can actually go 38 meters. You could, if you're running, for example, multiple spans of triplex from, let's say, the property line to a dwelling unit. However, the last span can only be 30 meters. However, between spans, you could technically go 38 meters. But be very careful with this rule and 6112 Appendix B. Flexible cords. You guys can all read this one on your own. But keep in mind, once again, we're back to the uses of flexible cords, and they shall be of the type specified in table 11 and suitable for the particular location. Once again, we're back to this moisture, temperature, degree of enclosure, etc. You can read all that yourselves. Not much to read in 12-404. You could read that yourselves. Power cables. Once again, take a look at that. They're suitable for the particular location with respect to, but not limited, moisture, temperature, etc. Same thing. So you can read all that at your leisure. Now, a couple little things to keep in mind. This is more meant for the year 3, year 4 individuals. They talk about this type DLO cable. And does anyone know what type DLO cable is? It's a great cable. It stands for diesel locomotive. It's actually an ultra fine strand cable that you could basically take, for example, 250 kcmil and twist it in a circle that is no bigger than about this big. Excellent cable. It has some wonderful ampacities, and you have to go take a look at, I believe it's table 12E. Be very careful with that rule, by the way. There we go. What a good guess. Table 12E right there. Okay, and that pretty well ends that section. When we come back, we're going to start on 12-500, non-metallic sheath cable, and then we will go into 12-600 armor cable. Right, thanks for watching. Have a good day.